Good afternoon, Apollo Baptist Church, family and friends. Today is Saturday, May the 9th, and I am Reginald, your youth pastor. Today happens to be the day before Mother's Day, as well as the day before my wife's birthday. So I want to say to all the mothers out there, I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day tomorrow, just as I hope my wife has a wonderful birthday tomorrow as well. And giving thought to Mother's Day, I thought about the Bible verse that says obedience is better than sacrifice. Think about that for a moment with me, if you would. Obedience is better than sacrifice. I know coming up as a young child, I was a terror. And I gave my mom a hard time. God knows. I don't know how she survived me, if you will, but she did, and I'm grateful. And oftentimes, I don't know how I survived it because I wasn't a very compliant or cooperative and or honestly obedient child. And then I went into the military where there was even more structure and more authority, and I had more difficulties because I struggled with obedience. But thank God I've learned, and I am learning, that obedience is better than sacrifice. Let me break that down for you, if I may, for just a moment. Think about it. Obedience requires the sacrifice of our will to the will of the one that's instructing us. Think about that. So there can be no obedience without sacrifice. However, sacrifice, on the other hand, no, that doesn't require obedience. I'll give you an example. 27 years ago, whenever it was, that I came to the conclusion that I would sacrifice consuming alcohol for a year so that I could see what God would do in my life. I didn't feel a call of God to do that. I made a decision to sacrifice that so that I could see what God would do. Only God knew that that would lead to me not ever drinking again. But God would clearly say, I made that decision. When we decide to sacrifice something, we make the decision as to what it is we will give up and why it is we will give it up and for how long it is we will give it up. There's no instruction there. But when we obey, there's an instruction. When a mom says, make your bed or clean your room or do your homework, to obey that is better than to come back even later and say, oh, I'll mop the floor, I'll clean the dishes, I'll do the laundry as a sacrifice for my disobedience. That just won't cut it. It doesn't cut it in the natural with our mothers, if you will, and it most definitely does not cut it in the spiritual with God. When God says to you and to me, to obey is better than sacrifice, that's the truth. We know it's truth, accurate and unchanging, because God said it. We know it's truth because as we put it to the test, as we just examined it, we see how it bears out. There's a quote that I like that Winston Churchill made years ago, and it says, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it and ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. That simply means that the truth doesn't change. And obedience is better than sacrifice. So I pray you and I would take those words to heart and ask God to change our hearts that we might obey. And there will be no sacrifice. Have a wonderful day. Have a great day tomorrow. God bless you. I love you. And I can't wait to see us get back together.